The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Magi had departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Rise, take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt and stay there until I tell you. Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him. Joseph rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed from Egypt. He stayed there until the death of Herod, that what the Lord had said through the prophet might be fulfilled. Out of Egypt I called my son. When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity, 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had ascertained from the Magi. Then was fulfilled what had been said through Jeremiah the prophet. A voice was heard in Ramah, sobbing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children, and she would not be consoled since they were no more. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So, we celebrate the Holy Innocents today. They were holy, and at the same time, they were innocent. Holy, martyrs, because as martyrs, the first opening prayer, the collect tells us, they even did not speak. They could not speak, but they died for the faith. Faith in the Son of God. Because there was a decree by Herod that all of them should be slaughtered. Why did he need them to be slaughtered? He needed them to be slaughtered so that he will protect his power base. Power, because a child is to be king. And so he is king. And guess what? The next of killers, the ancestors of killers, the guy Herod who killed John the Baptist is the same Herod. So they continue the path of killing and making decrees, and don't even think that we cannot go back up till all the time from Exodus. When a certain guy called Pharaoh decreed that all the firstborn child, all the men, boys born by, Pharaoh, by the Israelites should be killed. Life and power. Power and life. You know when Jesus was tempted after 3 days, after 40 days and 40 nights, was tempted by power. The devil, the Satan. He fights. He fights to gain power. And life becomes a tool to gain power. Because the devil, is about death. It's about blood. Everywhere there is death lurking in the air is Satan. Because he comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. That's what he does. He comes to steal, to give misery, dread, anguish, pain, death in his way, darkness. First John says it today. If you are in the light, you don't live in the darkness. Because Jesus is light. The light of the world is born. But Herod is the prince of darkness. And the prince of darkness, if you think that it's all over with Herod, it's not all over. There is always a contest between life and death. Jesus brings life. Jesus is the one who brings life in abundance. Wherever you find life, whether in the society, whether in the church, Christ is present. Christ is present. And see, death shows itself in different ways. Death so shows itself in sadness, an unexplained sadness in the human race, individuals, an unexplained sadness in families, an unexplained suicidal thoughts, an unexplained nervousness, pride, arrogance, an unexplained spirit of competition and envy, an unexplained fear, an unexplained, level of anxiety that pervades the society, an unexplained depression and new age, the new age spirit, the spirit of the new age. Today, go around. You see toys, you see video games, all on the path of death, to snatch and steal the vision and the mission and the purpose of the young population, and actually even adults who play all those things. And what happens? They suck life out of them. People seem to be alive, but they are not alive. They are dead because the bone marrow, the system is already corroded, poisoned with malice, the malice of Satan. Today, legislations are being made for the destruction of the unborn child. Today, we have constitutional imprints being made for the destruction of the unborn. And then, sometimes in the church, we fail to understand that constitutional courts are not authority over the children of God. We are born by heavenly courts and heavenly stipulations. We belong to God. Only God's law is worthy of obedience. No other law is worthy of obedience. The moral law is under God. And that's why when St. John is saying, because they do not belong to God, because they do not know God. Because all those who do not know God then live a horizontal life. Horizontal life is stipulations of Supreme Courts. Horizontal life is constitutional amendments. Horizontal life is, that's what it is. But when you live this one, the vertical, you know that God has already said in Exodus, thou shalt not kill. Exodus chapter 20 verse 13. And some time ago, I was down in the basement doing a deliverance for a young man. And I asked him to read the Exodus chapter 20, and read the 10 commandments. He could not read it, 17-year-old. Because he could not read, thou shalt not kill. The devil will never allow them to read that. Because then their eyes will be open. The culture of death. Pope John Paul II spoke about it eloquently in Evangelium Vitae. The culture of death. Pope Paul VI spoke about it in Humanae Vitae in 1968. Both of them are saints today, okay? So that means they're in heaven. Where do we want to go to? We want to go with the culture of life or the culture of death? It's so obvious around us. The smell, the smoke of Satan. He divides. All he wants to do is to divide and make us forget whom we belong to. Walk in the light. walk in the light. If you are without sin, some say we are without sin, you deceive ourselves. You deceive yourselves. And the truth is not in us. Abortion is sin. Abortion is evil. And I tell you what, many women are being programmed into it. Doctors program them, nurses program them, different pharmaceutical industries program them, financial, personal, power, and every other thing. I'm not ready for this. All that are all the pressures that come around. We must be there as members of the church, to be there, to stand, to work with pregnant women who claim that there's unwanted child. God wants those child. We must be by them, to support them, to bring these children to life, to nurture these children, because they are sacred. They are God's gifts. No gift is more worthy of being protected than life. Someone said, if we normally will stand, give a sign of reverence over our friends who have died, and we stand 1 minute in honor of them, or family members who have died, then it means that since 1973, after that constitutional Supreme Court whatever, we will be standing in America for the next 100 years for the wanton destruction of life. And I tell you what, let's break it down a little bit. Today, we are an adult population. Today, we are people of seniors. Today, the dynamism of the society has been killed. Rama, Rachel is crying, where are our children? That's what America is crying. Where are our children? We want to do all. We want to do all today. But the children have been decimated on the slab of abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood and John Hopkins Foundation and all the DFIDs. Those guys are continually going everywhere in the world. And Europe, some of those presidents, they look at Africa and pointing and said, Africa is poor. So when it is poor, then you have to just begin to kill their babies. No mother in Africa wants to kill their babies. Their baby is their wealth. Their baby is their joy. And that's why I'm here. Because the policies of the political parties who wants to kill people, those policies did not get to my place. Maybe I would have died. And my mission here in America would probably have died. Moses was spared by God. They did not follow those decrees of Pharaoh. We are not obliged to follow any person's decree, whether it's constitutional or from any Supreme Court. We have a Supreme Court, and that's the judge in that Supreme Court. But he gives mercy, and meaning, if we have sinned, if anybody has sinned, go to confession and it's over. It's over. But we sin because the devil doesn't want you to go to confession. No. Doesn't want you. He keeps you on the principle of double shame. He keeps you shame. Don't go. It's not true. You're not the only one. It's not true. Go to confession. Christ who is worthy, the Christ baby, Jesus, will bring forgiveness. And that's the end. Begin a new life. Because the devil is about death. Christ is about life. When we are forgiven, we receive life. Let us rise with him. Dearly